Now let's move to the second part of the question. This section, whatever we are going to discuss now, is going to be a very interesting section. Especially we are going to cover good amount of content related to the specifically related to the Andhra Pradesh economy in terms of the finances, revenue deficit, debt structure, what kind of issues that are there in the bifurcation. So very important sections are going to be covered here. So you are going to enjoy this session. Now let's start our discussion with the question. Discuss the areas of central assistance to Andhra Pradesh under the provisions of the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act. So this first part of the question is the APPSC previous year question. To that I have added little more things and the issues faced by the Andhra Pradesh post bifurcation. Firstly, pay very good attention. So here, because we are going to deal with those provisions of the bifurcation where actually the analysis is needed. I've seen in the other parts because the issue, the crisis post bifurcation, it is the information that is present is actually fragmented. It is present in different parts and areas. So I have tried to bring it at one place. So please focus well for the next few minutes. Now see, now you can try here what could be the context of the question here. Discuss the areas of central assistance to the Andhra Pradesh under the provisions of the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act and issues faced. Firstly, there are two parts in the question. This is the first part and the second part. And the next one more thing I have asked you is to identify the question tag. Here the question tag says discuss. Now here if you just mention whatever the promises that are done by the central government, it is not going to give you any marks. Here we have to discuss we have to discuss about those provisions. How far the promises have been fulfilled? What are the promises? What are the promises that are not fulfilled? Okay, those are the things that we have to bring. So this is the meaning of the discuss. Now we have to set the context. In the introduction, what can be the approach is during the time of the bifurcation, Andhra Pradesh has lost the significant amount of the revenue because of the loss of the capital and loss of the institute of the various institutions of the national importance. So as a result, the central government during the bifurcation has promised certain things for the Andhra Pradesh. This could be a good introduction. Now we will move to the what are the areas of the central assistance, what are the promises that have been made. Okay, so here the content is already given. Okay, these are the institutions that are promised: railway zone, metro railway for Vijayawada, the Polavaram project. Okay, let's move into the in more detail analysis. So before getting into this, what are the promises that were made by the central government, first let's understand what are the major provisions. I am not getting into all the provisions which are already available. You can just look at those factual parts that are present before the Schedule 9. It talks about what kind of how many numbers of MPs and MLAs should be there, how the actually division of those MPs and MLAs. So those things they are talking about the simple like say allocation of the seats in the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. So these were the simple factual provisions, but the core provisions which are difficult to understand that I am doing here. Okay, the important provisions that you have to remember here is the Schedule 9. Okay, the Schedule 9, it talks about distribution of the various government companies and the corporations. Since bifurcation has happened, so what could be the what are the institutions that belong to the Andhra Pradesh? What are the institutions? What are the government companies that belong to the Telangana? So Schedule 9 talks about that. Then Schedule 10 talks about those institutions which are serving both the states. Okay, let's say any kind of cooperative that is at that point of time is serving both the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So Schedule 10 says that those services should continue of delivering of the services, and there is also provisions of division of the assets. Okay, of the assets of the institutions that are present in the Schedule 10. So Schedule 9 and Schedule 10, it is basically about the division of the assets. The main point, that is the concerning point, is Schedule 9 and Schedule 10. Because whatever the institutions that are present here, their assets should be properly distributed to both the Telangana and the Andhra Pradesh. Now what should be the criteria of division of the assets, we'll discuss. Then Schedule 11, it talks about the principles governing the function of the various river management boards. So there are various river management boards for handling interstate rivers. Okay, let's say you have the Krishna water board, you have Godavari water board. Okay, so how their functioning should be happening, how the principles should be happening. Okay, and then it also talks about the coal, oil, power distribution companies, their working, their distribution. And Schedule 13 talks about the various institutions that have been promised by the central government, which we have already seen in the PDF. Okay, so these are the factual part. Now let's move to the promises. So central government, these are the assurance given by the central government. Okay, they said, okay, we are going to give Andhra Pradesh government said, okay, see, you are bifurcating us. Okay, state division is happening. So Hyderabad is being given to the Telangana government. We don't have any new capital for us. We need a lot of funds for the creation of the capital. Then central government said, okay, we will give whatever the money that is formed. Okay, that is required. Okay, for the creation of the new capital, we will provide it. Okay, the funds will be given for the creation of the new capital. Revenue gap. So once the division has happened, okay, now the most of the revenue generating assets, okay, which are most giving you majority of revenues that are present in Hyderabad. Since Hyderabad was lost, so Andhra Pradesh was definitely going to face revenue deficit, huge amount of the revenue deficit. Then the government said, okay, in the first year, whatever the highest amount of revenue deficit that you will face, the resource gap. What is the deficit? That is the deficit means what are the expenditure, what is the revenue. So whatever the gap that is there, that resource gap, that for the complete 2014 year, it will be provided by the central government. This is the promise they have made. And then post that also, for 5 years, revenue deficit that can happen. Okay, revenue deficit means revenue expenditure minus revenue receipt. Okay, those revenue deficit in the form of grants will be provided on the basis of the recommendations of the Finance Commission, which the Finance Commission is doing. Okay, then they have mentioned Schedule 13. Certain institutions were promised under Schedule 13. They are like National Institute of Technology, AIIMS, National Institute of Disaster Management. They have also promised Railway Zone, Petroleum University, and they have also promised development of the national highway connecting the Hyderabad and Amravati till the Nasrapeta. Okay, then they have also promised the metro projects in the Vijayawada. Okay, then other promises are like, they have said, okay, in order to develop your agriculture, you can develop the Polavaram project. Polavaram is a inter-river linking project. Okay, so this will be given a status of national importance, where the majority of the funds, okay, in fact all the funds will be given by the central government. Okay, then they also said whatever the backward areas, majority of the areas, let's say 50% of the areas of the Andhra Pradesh were backward. Those Rayalaseema parts and the northern parts of the coastal Andhra were backward in nature. So government said, we will give certain grants. Grants means government does not have to repay back. Okay, it is like free amount. Okay, central government said fiscal incentives for the backward areas development. So all these were the promises that are mentioned. Now if the question says mention or else highlight the promises that were made by the central government, your answer will be finished by here. Okay, but the question says discuss the promises. And when they ask about discuss the promises, if you just simply mention this thing, you will not even get the 50% of the marks. Now we have to discuss how far these promises have been fulfilled. Okay, so now let's move into the content. So now see, Andhra Pradesh after the bifurcation wanted the special category status. Under the special category status, whatever the tax incentives that will be provided, they will be very much higher in nature. Okay, but the central government has given us special assistance measure. Okay, they have not given special category status, rather they have given, what they have given is special assistance measure. Okay, after the 14, what the central government says is, after the 14 Finance Commission, we don't have the concept of the special category status. So we are going to provide you special assistance measure. This is what the central government has said. So, but the central government assured all those things that belongs to the special category status, the tax, that kind of level of tax incentives will be provided under the special assistance measure. This is what the central government has said. But in reality, the tax incentives and the additional funds that were provided were very less in this way under the special assistance measure in compared to the special category status. That was a major issue. So these are the tax incentives that needs to be provided for few years. So but those tax incentives were provided, okay, but those are partially successful because they were provided under the special assistance measure but not provided under the special category status. There is no special category status mentioned in your AP Bifurcation Act. Okay, then they have given the special developmental grants for especially for the backward areas development of your Rayalaseema and northern part of your coastal region. So this is they have provided very good amount. Okay, they have provided 1050 crores, and they have also said that this will also be released gradually. Okay, and then they have said Polavaram. Okay, so they are paying the money, they are providing us the whatever the funds, but what has happened is because of the delays the cost has been overrun. So now the government says whatever the project cost was there during the time period of 2014 when the project was initiated, we will pay only that much of amount. But the Andhra Pradesh government says no, the project cost has been multiplied. Why there was a delay? Okay, because land has to be acquired. So state government could not acquire land in a rapid manner. So because of this there was a delays and all. So government says no, central government says we will provide based on what we have agreed. Then in the 2014 time period we will not give you additional amount. So this is also concern. So now the resource gap. The resource gap for the 2014 year as per the CAG accounts is 16,000 crores. But the central government has provided only 4,000 crores. Central government says that's it. We are not going to provide you any additional amount. They have given additional 100 crores. So where is this 4,000 crores and where is the 6,000 crores? Sorry, 16,000 crores. There is huge amount of gap. Okay, and they have also supported the this Vizag and Chennai industrial corridor. Under this Vizag and Chennai industrial corridor, the amount of money that is provided here, like I have already mentioned, it is in the form of the loan, but it is not in the form of the grants that was provided in the Delhi and the Mumbai industrial corridor. So these are the promises that are partially fulfilled. Few promises have been fulfilled, few promises have been not been fulfilled. Now how many amount of institutions have been created? Few of the institutions like say IIT, okay, they have just started, okay, they have inaugurated establishment of those institutions, but yet to happen something substantial. Okay, and whatever the other promises they have made, okay, petroleum university did not happen, railway zone did not happen. They laid a committee and they said okay, let the committee give the recommendation. They have also spoken about creation of the highways linking the Hyderabad till the Nasraupeta crossing from the Amaravati region, but that did not happen. So the institutions in the schedule 13 only partially fulfilled. So this is the way for you to write the answer. You cannot completely criticize, you cannot completely say positive. Okay, you have to give both the sides. This is called the discussion. So firstly you will talk about what is the context, then you will talk about what are the promises that are made, what are the promises that were fulfilled by the central government, and what are the areas that are not fulfilled by the central government. So that is the content of the first part of the question. I hope it is very clear. Now, what are the issues faced by the Andhra Pradesh post bifurcation? This was also a previous year question. What kind of issues the industry is facing? So I have tried to provide very good content here, which will solve, which will make you clear many concepts. Okay, so the post bifurcation during the time Andhra Pradesh was facing very huge resource gap. The revenue deficit was 16,000 crores, and during the same time period, the previous years in the 2013 and 2014, the manufacturing growth of the Andhra Pradesh was negative in nature. Okay, that is highly problematic, and Andhra Pradesh has become predominantly agriculture oriented. Okay, the agriculture used to contribute around more than 30% of the GDP. This now have also increased to around 35% of the GDP. Currently, agriculture provides around 30% of the GDP. Okay, and then also service sector is contributing the 40% of the GDP. This is also a structural problem in the Andhra Pradesh. The most developed states like say Tamil Nadu, the service sector is contributing 68%. This will increase the revenue. Okay, the rest of the percentage is contributed by the industrial sector. Okay, this agriculture contribution should slowly come down. This will help this will help in doubling of the farmers. How it should come down is let's say from this 35% it can be 30 and 25%, and the number of people dependent on it is currently more than 60%. this 60% should also come down to somewhere around 20% equal to this thing. Okay, 20 or 25% and 25%. This will help in doubling of the farmers' income. So like we have previously discussed, the industrial sector should grow and the service sector should grow for the Andhra Pradesh to transform into a developed state. Andhra Pradesh is targeting to become the developed state by 2029. Okay, so these are the structural issues the Andhra Pradesh is facing, especially post bifurcation. So this is the very good factual detail that is very important for your the answering thing. Okay, the revenue deficit and the manufacturing the situation. Now the most confusing part for you is definitely the Bifurcation Act. Okay, so what were the situation? I have seen I've seen the content on this bifurcation, where I've also seen the students who are struggling to understand this thing, so understand clearly. Okay, so what was the situation in the what they did in the bifurcation is, and they have created a lot of mismanagement, I would say, kind of confusion. Okay, in terms of the division of the assets and the liabilities. The assets were divided on the location basis, but the liabilities were decided on the basis of the population. So what happened because of this was, Andhra Pradesh received less number of the assets, but received high amount of liabilities, because the population of the Andhra Pradesh is nearly 58%, while the population of the Telangana is 42%. So we got as high as 58% of the liabilities, but assets we received were only 40%. Within these assets also, I have mentioned about the Schedule 9 and the Schedule 10. Okay, that's the reason I have mentioned. And the 91 institution assets, the distribution has not yet happened, and also 142 institutions that were present in the Schedule 10 has not yet been distribution has not yet happened. So this is amounting to around 1.5 lakh crore. Okay, the asset loss is happening. Okay, and Telangana government has also started construction on those assets. So this will again demolition need to happen. So lot of resource wastage, right? Now see, because of this issue, the asset is divided on the location and the liabilities are divided on the population. Since Andhra Pradesh is losing lots of amounts of assets, so Andhra Pradesh appealed to the Supreme Court. Okay, we are losing so much of money. We are given the liability based on the population, but assets are based on the location. Then Supreme Court ordered, okay, for the assets that are present in the Schedule 10, go based on the population only. Okay, assets should be distributed based on the population only. Okay, maintain that thing. But the Telangana government is not implementing that order, or there is we need a kind of cooperative federalism. Central government should try to bring the cooperative federalism between the cooperation between the various state units. It also depends upon the political will, okay, between the two state governments to arrive at a solution for this, or else it would be lost to both the central government and the state government. Okay, they have also mentioned, while division of the assets, certain assets, okay, let's say which are let's say interstate assets. Okay, there would be some kind of headquarters and there would be branches, right? So most of the assets would be divided based on the location, wherever it is. Let's say if the asset is totally present in the Vijayawada, that belongs to the Andhra Pradesh. Let's say if the asset is totally belonging to the present in the Warangal, okay, that will be belonging to the Telangana region. Now let's say one part of the asset is present in the Hyderabad, another part of the asset is present in the in the other parts of the Andhra Pradesh, then it becomes very difficult. Okay, so the headquarter, that is nothing but the headquarter asset. Okay, the headquarter asset, in the act itself they mentioned it should be distributed based on the population. Okay, the branches which are presented in the different location, let's say Vijayawada or Warangal, they belong to that particular region only. But the assets that are present in the headquarters, because most of the institutions, they have their headquarters in the Hyderabad, majority I am saying. Okay, and now that is also needs to be shared. Okay, everything cannot go back to only one state, just hypothetically. Okay, there would be vice versa also. So the headquarter assets should be divided on the basis of the population. But the headquarter, what is actually headquarters, has led to the controversy. It is not properly defined in the act. All these issues are the very small issues, minor issues. Only if there is a proper political will, these things can be resolved. Okay, but because of the political emotions that are present in this thing, things are getting delayed. Okay, so these are the major provisions of the Bifurcation Act. And then after the bifurcation, because we have lost the Hyderabad, as a loss of the Hyderabad, we have also lost lot of revenue, which I have already mentioned. then whatever the loan liability is there and that are present generally before the bifurcation, okay, that undivided loan liability is actually mentioned in the books of the Andhra Pradesh government. So because of this thing, Andhra Pradesh saw high amount of the debt levels, and because of this thing, high amount of already present of debt levels, our FRBM, the borrowing limits have also impacted during time of the bifurcation. Now, why did we face the power crisis? Why did we face such kind of power crisis? Okay, the power allocation was based on the consumption that was there in the 2006. Because of this thing, we were allotted whatever we in the sense Andhra Pradesh were allotted less power. Okay, the more power has been given to the Telangana government, and Andhra Pradesh has been facing the power crisis. So power allocation was based on the 2006 consumption. So that was a major issue. That's the reason we have faced the power shortages. And then what are the other issues we faced? Now see, already this is also a mentioned topic in your syllabus book, water, interstate river disputes. Okay, so now water sharing will become even more difficult. Already Krishna river, Godavari river are interstate rivers. Now one more state has been created. So this will create further difficulties in the water sharing. Finance, what are the problems post bifurcation as said by the Finance Commission was Andhra Pradesh has 50% of the districts as a backward district during the bifurcation. So huge problem to the Andhra Pradesh, and there is very less amount of the urbanization, lack of urbanization. This was not said by me, it was said by the Finance Commission. And the Finance Commission also said institutions of the national importance, most of them were present in Hyderabad because Hyderabad was lost. So dispossession of the institutes of national importance. So this was the major concern. So this was the amount that was lost because of the lack of distribution of the assets. So these are the things that Andhra Pradesh government has faced post bifurcation. Now this is the body. Now you will what will you mention in the conclusion? You can say there is a need for proper cooperative federalism. Assets should be properly distributed, and both the states should ensure that people well-being of the people should be ensured or maintained. This can be a conclusion. Or else in the other sense you can also say, despite the situation post bifurcation, now Andhra Pradesh is also one of the fastest growing economy, and also it has also increased the per capita income of its people. In this way also you can mention. This is the content of your question, of the question Bifurcation Act, issues arising out of it, and what are the promises made by the central government. I don't think you need any additional content more than this. This is enough for your issues arising out of the bifurcation and the promises made. Okay.